Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for tonight's Let's Chat. Today, I'm getting to talk to one of my coworkers and also a fellow crafter. We don't always get to have these kinds of conversations. So I was so excited to be able to connect with Katie Steiner to talk about something that we both love, creating. And we were both DIYers for our weddings. And we've also had a chance to share some of our favorite DIY crafts with family and friends too. So in just a few minutes, she'll be joining us. But first, we're going to play a quick 30-second intro and give a few more people a chance to join us. And I'll be back with Katie, and we'll talk about DIY wedding decor. Hi, everyone. I hope you are having an amazing day. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Let's Chat. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite things, crafting. And it's always exciting when you go to a new job and you find out that you're working with a fellow crafter. So you can imagine how excited I was when I learned that Katie was a crafter too. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her up, and we're going to talk about crafting I do. Wedding decor. Thanks so much, Katie, for joining me today.
Of course. So I hope this is okay. I don't know if this is legal, but I can't really talk about weddings and crafting without some wine.
Well, hey, it's Saturday night. Make it your own. I'm just glad that we could connect to do this. So you just decorated for your sister's wedding. And that's how this idea came about, because you were hard at work really all of last month trying to get ready for this wedding, right?
Yeah, literally behind the scenes of the noon shows, it was like, Shayla, I'm so stressed out about this. I've got so much to do. Shayla's like, well, why don't you? I was like, I'm trying to figure out. So I guess I should back up. So I was talking to one of our photographers today. I was working, and I was like, honestly, because he was like, oh, you like to sew, don't you? I was like, honestly, Shayla and I are like the opposite. So between the two of us, like, we've got all the crafting. Like, Shayla doesn't crochet or knit. I've got that covered. I don't do any of the cool stuff that you do. Like, that's awesome. And then I sew.
Yes.
But it's just crazy that you are so, like, literally polar opposites in the crafting world.
We are, because you sew and you bake. I don't really sew. I don't really bake. I pretty much like to do other random stuff. Like, I'll enjoy making a flower arrangement.
Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, and beading.
I love that.
Yeah, and so between the two of us, we can do some really incredible things. So I said, this is a conversation we have to have, because, you know, it's the summer. People are planning weddings, trying to get creative, and they're probably online. Like, what's this cool? What's something cool I can do for this? Or what's something cool I can do for that? So I said, you know, Katie and I should share some of the cool stuff that we've come up with over the years for not only our own weddings, but maybe for some of our friends and family too. So I'll push up some of the pictures here that you sent me. Do you want to talk about some of your sister's stuff first, or you want to talk about your wedding first? Your sister?
Yeah, we can do my sister, because this wedding just happened. So gosh, it feels like it was yesterday, but it was July 4th, over the July 4th weekend. So to give you a little bit of background, my little sister was a Navy nurse and is married a Navy SEAL. So we had like that, you know, that kind of gave us a theme. So our theme was going to be the stars, very military. We wanted to do red, white, and blue, but not tacky. So what we did navy blue. That's what the colors of the girls' dresses were. And then we did like a maroon. You can see the little accent color there, that maroon, little marble. So we did just a very light maroon accent with silver. So this is kind of what we came up with. So, and of course, I just get an idea in my head, and I thought, stars? How are you supposed to make stars? Because we did our centerpieces with fabric, and we'll show you that later. But so the stars are actually made out of wood. I went to my uncle, who probably thinks I'm insane, and I said, hey, we want to make 40 stars out of wood. Would you be fine with that? And then we also, so here's the craft box. This is what Shayla was helping me with. Cause like, I'm not that really crafty. I just like, I come up with these ideas and can make them. So we went to Hobby Lobby and we made those little stars. I just painted them with the same paint that I painted the wood stars. And then that frame is also from Hobby Lobby. Love Hobby Lobby. And then, so that box, Shayla, because I was like, I don't even know. This is the atrocious thing that we turned it into. Like, I think it looks so janky, especially I can't wait to see Shayla's box because it looks beautiful. Like, that's what we came up with. You can't really tell, but there's tulle below the fabric ribbon. Because Shayla was like, oh, you can make some ribbon. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. It was one of those things that like looked really good in my head, and then I created it, and it was like terrible. But it was a card box. It was wonderful. My sister didn't care what it looked like, so that the pressure was off. It was really just for me. Oh my gosh, the card box was one of those things that I was like, just please, nobody notice this. Look at the other things that we did.
That's something you made that I thought looked so good because baking is your specialty. I love how these cookies came together.
Thank you. So this was the second time. This was the first time I used royal icing by myself. One of my friends is a wizard, so we did it once before. But yeah, I was mom. So apparently the church that she got married in apparently doesn't let homemade items. Like, you can't bring homemade items. I didn't know that. But I think they thought that they were store-bought. So I was really proud of it. But I was and again, like, my sister doesn't care. I literally made these cookies because I wanted to do royal icing. So that was really nice. That
you nailed it. And those look absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
And I want to talk about some of the crafts that you made for your wedding. Let's see here. Okay.
Thank you. So we did our wedding, had a little wine theme. One of my mom's good friends is like really into planning stuff. And so she needed a theme. So we picked wine. So we used those corks. One of our family friends owns a winery down in Kansas City. So if you look really close, you can see some of the corks say KC on it. We used a lot of their corks, but I mean, this is misleading because it looks like maybe, 100 corks to make all those. There's like 200 or 300 corks on each of these.
Wow.
Maybe I would say 200 probably on that K. The J probably 200, and the cross maybe only had 150, but like those suckers, I mean, we needed a lot of corks for that. I guess maybe, now that I look at it, we went through like 500 corks just for that K&J. Then we also used the corks for each of the name cards.
Okay.
I'm dirt cheap and I don't want to pay for anything. So I'm going to do everything myself. So we cut the wine corks. So this is what it looked like. I just love these pictures, Shayla. It like brings me back. So we cut the wine corks in like right on the bottom. We also use these frames and put them together. So we painted all of these frames, each table. This is our pictures at 9 years old. So table 9 had 9 pictures of us at 9 years old. Each table had 9 pictures. That wasn't because it was table 9. But, and then we put a little candle inside of them. So it like illuminated. They were like little lanterns. And I got these in bulk, the frames in bulk from Michaels.com. It was like $150 for all of them. And we had 26 tables. Yeah. We like to do things on the cheap. The other thing I wanted to mention, and you can't really see it very well in this picture, but we cut these wine bottles. So this vase is a wine bottle that I have one right here. Funny. Do you see why our theme was wine? So we cut them right here, and then the top part held that name card. So we used a wine cork, put a slit in it, and put the table 4 right here using this top of it, the top of the wine bottle, and then the bottom of the wine bottle was the vase that we either put a floating candle. We had a group of 3, so it was either a floating candle. The vase was filled with corks, and then you can see there's the empty ones. Or we had flowers in the vase. So this was our table that we had. Wine and cheese, of course, goes with the theme here. And that just, we're Catholic, so we always get married. Catholic weddings are in the afternoon. So dinner didn't start till 5:15, so we needed people to come to cocktail hour. So we needed to provide snacks so they wouldn't be hungry from 3 to 5. So we did wine and cheese as our little snack with crackers. This also is homemade. This is super easy. If you have some sort of I used PowerPoint, not PowerPoint. I used Photoshop. I don't know if I would recommend that because it was really handy. But if you have Microsoft Publisher, that's a really easy way to do it. So I just put a picture, one of our engagement pictures, put the translucency or whatever down to 20% or 30%, and then put all of our guests on that thing by last name so they could see where their table was. So that's why I did that. Yeah, I really liked that a lot.
That looks so amazing. And you did such a fantastic job with that. And it's so awesome with your wedding. You really have an opportunity to create this moment, this magic, and make it your own. And I love all those special touches that you came up with to make that day extra meaningful and extra special. Katie and I had completely different themes, as you can see when we were looking at our pictures. It's so cool, though, to see how the magic comes together for different special occasions. And I, like Katie, I love to come up with those little special things or those little special touches. And so for my wedding day, the thing that
I can't wait to see these pictures.
The thing I said, I'm going to get this done. I don't care if nothing else happens. It was my program fans.
Oh my gosh. I've heard so much about these.
I wanted to find someone that would make these for me. And I'll show you what one of these looks like. Okay. I went and dug them out today. So I was trying to find somebody who could make these for me for my wedding. And the cost of someone else doing this, it was crazy. Like the cost per fan, it was getting up there. So I said, I have to be able to make one of these myself. So,
honestly, all you have to do is put wedding behind something and it jacks up the price like 3 times. It's ridiculous.
So what I did, and these are so popular, my aunt still, she actually has them on the wall at her house. I saw them 2 years ago. She said, do you have any more of these so I can put them on the wall for decoration?
That's so funny.
So what I did was I found the bamboo fans by themselves, and I ended up getting the florist who did my flower arrangements. Here's the flower arrangements for my bridesmaids. So I had the florist give me the same ribbon that she used for the bouquets, and then I wrapped that around the handles of these bamboo fans. And then I went to the craft store and bought some cheap flowers, and I just wanted color. So I bought some really inexpensive bundles of flowers and cut 3 of them, stuck them together, wrapped the ribbon around, and then I just secured this little piece here to the back using the super glue. And then I had a creative on Etsy make my programs, and then I just printed them out, had the programs. I used right through here, if you can kind of see that.
Ooh,
a couple of holes in the programs. I think I had to punch them, but they may have had them. I can't remember. And then I just went through here and secured each one of the programs here to the fan. And so my husband said, if you just do 25 of these, then you'll be able to explain that they only went to the family. But I was like, no, I want these to be on all the seats. So
how many did you do?
This is this is a look inside, and that's we got married in a conservatory, and so the fans are on all of the seats there.
Oh my gosh.
And I finished them. That was my one project that I said, I'm going to finish this project. And that same ribbon was also on the flowers that the florist did for the ends of the seats. And so I was really excited about how those came together. I wanted it for the picture. You know how you have in your mind?
Yes, they're beautiful.
That was my vision for that. And so another thing, I always look for little touches. So I found the little labels that I could add to some of the candy that had my name and my husband's name on the bottom of the Hershey Kisses. And then for the candy bags, I had those made with our names on those. Yeah. And here's a look at, I didn't make anything on this table, but this is just a look at what the space looked like. With the conservatory theme. And then we had the leaf underneath the cupcakes and everything. And then for the table setting, it was right here. We had the flower display there. But yeah, so it was, here's another look at that.
Oh my gosh. Where did you get married? It feels like it's Hawaii.
Oh, I know, right? It was in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, at the Franklin Park Conservatory.
Whoa. That's so cool.
And so I was in love with that look, just with the tall gladiolas coming out of there. So when I had to do some decorating for another friend's special day, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this look. So I created the look, but with the fake gladiolas. And then I got these bottles. I think I bought them for, because everything goes on sale every other week at the craft store. So I got these on sale. And then I took some clearance beads because I got them around the holidays, and the beads and garland always go on sale for 50% off at the craft store. So I bought a bunch of the beads and I said, I know I'm going to use this for something. And so a project came up where I wanted to create a tall centerpiece. So I took my little clearance fine beads and then I wrapped them all around the bottles. And then I took, these are fake gladiolas, so I could use them again.
That's brilliant.
Yes. And so I took the fake gladiolas and I was able to create the centerpiece. And so for this particular project, I did, I'll show you these. So I did them in like 3 different colors. So I did
that's amazing.
And then it's the same one, but with the yellow. And it was just such a nice pop of color. And because undoubtedly, another project will come up where we'll have to use those.
Or like a shower of some sort. Like
but it's just some of those things that you just kind of pick up along the way and you're like, oh, I'll be able to use that again. Another set of pictures that I'll show you, I had a chance to decorate for a friend's wedding, and
which is like the best thing that a friend can ask, right? Like, hey, can you help me craft? Like, absolutely. Yes. Thank you for making my life.
Yes. And so this is my first try at a card box. And so I did mine. You did yours out of wood, right?
No, mine was out of literally Staples box from the station.
Oh, okay. Well, that works too. This is just whatever you have on hand. I started making one out of one of the boxes from the post office. I just painted it with a dark enough paint. And just to get all of the logos and stuff out. This particular one I made using, I had to find the flowers in her colors, which was the tricky part. So that was probably the hardest part of the project. But I found some of those nesting boxes out of, I forgot what that material is because I had to send this to you.
Yours were too expensive though. I would much rather go.
No. It was
like $10.
Yeah, it was like nesting boxes, not cardboard, but you could make this out of cardboard. And if I can get this to work, I'll kind of show you how the decorating came together. Let's see if this will play. We'll find out together, everybody. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, so this is how I decorated the box. It's with that rhinestone looking ribbon stuff that you can buy for pretty cheap online. And then we had a Dremel tool. And so I had my husband cut the little slits in there for me with the Dremel tool. And then I did all of the decorating of the box. And then we had to cut the holes in the different tiers to be able to make sure that when you drop the card in, it went all the way to the bottom. This was literally just trying this out to see what we'd come up with. And then for
did you keep it?
And then for the sign, I made the sign actually with a frame from the dollar store. And I said, there's got to be an easy way to make a sign. So I got this frame from the dollar store and then took some of that same sort of like rhinestone stuff and put it over the side of the backside of the interior paper that they put in those frames just, for whatever the logo was. And then that's just a little piece of wood that I painted in her wedding colors. And then
it is so creative.
And then after I painted it, I also got just some wooden letters from the craft store. It was like I think it was just a bag for like $4.99 or something. And then I just added the letters with a glue gun, added the flower with the glue gun, and then put it inside one of those little plastic frames. And that was literally how that came together. Now,
so is the wood on the out, like is the wood on the, did you glue the wood onto the glass of the frame?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's glued on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all of that is not inside the frame, just the ribbon is inside. Is that correct?
The rhinestone ribbon stuff, which I have some of that. I should have brought it over here so you could see it. But it's like a rhinestone ribbon. I glued that to the glass, and then I put the wooden piece that's painted kind of the tan color. I glued that to the top of it, and then I painted those wooden letters white and put that over the top of the other piece, and then I attached that fabric flower, and then I put that whole,
good.
Yeah, oh, thank you. And I put that whole little thing inside of a plastic stand. And that's how that came together. One of my favorite projects, and I was like, how am I going to do this? So I wanted to figure out, how do I create something that looks like a flower arrangement, but it has candy in it? And so,
because why not?
And so this is what I came up with, and I'll show you how we ended up here. But inside each of those cones, there's candy inside. And then we put this whole display on a candy buffet for her wedding. And so to create that, we'll see if I've got that whole video here. I might have part of it. We'll see. Okay, yeah, there it is. So I took that same sort of ribbon stuff, and I might have gotten that box from the dollar store or just found it at home somewhere. But some of these boxes I found at the dollar store to make this, and I just painted them with her wedding color, which is a cream sort of color. And then I took that ribbon stuff and put around it. And then I secured that piece to the middle because I was like, it needs to have a little bit of shape to it. And then I put all those cones on the inside and then created this arrangement for her for the candy buffet. And this was the first time I'd ever done one of these. So I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out.
It looks great.
But I'll show you what the whole setup ended up looking like. So this was the candy and all of these. So I imagine I worked evenings. So I would come home in the evening, and then I would work on this a little bit each night. And so I would
after the 10 o'clock, or it was 11, wasn't it?
Yeah. In my last market, I was finishing at 11. And so imagine this is me literally at night, 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'm sitting in the kitchen.
Oh my gosh.
Just frantically gluing things together, creating some magic.
It looks so good though, Shayla. Your poor husband is probably like, what is happening?
He's like, what are you doing? And so, it's kind of neat though, and you probably feel like this too. Sometimes if somebody asks you, can you make something if you've never made it before, it's just kind of neat to see if you can try, just to see what can I come up with? What kind of magic can I create with this?
Yes, the opportunity is like, ooh, I've never done this before, but like, I really want to learn how to do this.
Right. And so that's been kind of the experience. And I found those really cute boxes. And so I was like, oh, this would be a great thing to add. It kind of looks like food, but it's not food. And then
what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm tying the ribbon onto the boxes. And so that was, there was candy inside of those already. And then here's what that final card box
that's gorgeous.
Looked like at her wedding. Thanks.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of it.
Yeah.
And
really awesome.
this was DIY on a budget. This was like a clearance piece of wood. I think I got it for $1 or $2, the piece on the bottom there. And then I think that vase was $1 or $2. And then I just painted them. And I taught myself how to make the flower arrangements. And I just got the arrangements in the colors of her wedding. But what I like to do whenever I make arrangements is I'll go get like the inexpensive flowers, but I always like to add the beading inside of the middle of the flowers, like just to give it a little extra sparkle.
Is that from like a pendant, like jewelry pendant type thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So some of these are just some of the flat like rhinestone beads that I just use for other craft projects, and I had some left. And I said, you know what? Oh, these would be great to use for this. This arrangement was actually on my desk because we didn't have any windows at my last station, and I wanted to color. But the same technique is what I use to create this arrangement here. And
now I have a question about that arrangement. Can you pull it up again?
Oh, the picture? Yeah.
Okay, so did you use spray paint, or did you actually paint the inside, or how did you do that?
I use spray paint for these, and I'll see if I have that video. It's super short if I put it on here. Oh wait, it is. I don't know if this has music or not. It may not, hopefully not, but we'll see.
That's okay.
Okay, yeah. So I use spray paint to paint the vase. And then I use those little foam pieces.
Yep.
And then the super glue to push each of the flowers down in there. And then I found these little inexpensive, those are little rhinestone stickers. Yeah, those are rhinestone stickers that I just bought a sheet of them for $2 or $3. And then I put those in the middle of some of them. And then that's like a little piece of holiday decoration that I pulled from to create that little decor in the middle of the flower. You can kind of see facing you.
Yeah.
And so I love, and I didn't mean to play that again. I'm trying to take this picture off so we can see each other's faces. There we go.
Oh, yes.
So
I was just playing outside with my daughter, so I'm like all sweaty.
So I don't know about you, but do you like just taking weird random stuff and putting it together and see what you come up with, or are you very like this goes with this?
So it's right. We're opposites. So the fact that like you can pull stuff together is incredibly impressive. Like it's how I cook too, right? Like I need a recipe. My sister-in-law can like pull all these things together and create this like incredible meal. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I need like, no. I need, give me a pattern and hopefully I can follow it. And a lot of times I can't. Like a YouTube video is great because then I can rewind the YouTube video, like see, I need to know like, how is your pinky finger like situated right now? Do I need to move mine? Like I cannot do anything just like off the cuff. I was able, actually, the one time, actually, I'll go grab it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Oh, sure. All right, while we're waiting on Katie to come back, if you would like to hop on here for a second, today we're talking about crafting I Do wedding decor. Katie and I are sharing the creative things that we've made for our individual weddings. And then we're also kind of talking about some of the neat things that we've had a chance to make for weddings for friends and family. If you'd like to join the conversation, be sure to comment below. We just dropped the link. So just click the link if you'd like to pop up for a second, say hi, share some of the cool stuff that you made for your wedding or special event as well. We'd love to hear from you. And be sure, if we do pop you up though, make sure that you have, if you have a headphone or something you can pop in so we don't get the feedback, that would be awesome. And hopefully we'll be able to hear from some of you. If you comment, we'll be able to pop those comments up as well. Katie is back.
I'm back. So I made this, actually, I was able to create from a picture that I saw.
Oh, I love that.
I have never been more proud of myself in my life.
Is that a sewing project?
Yeah, so this is the top of a baby blanket, like a quilt, so you can see the back. It isn't done yet because I made this 2 years ago because I figured that when I have a kid, I wouldn't have time, and that's accurate. So this is it's if you are into quilting, it's 4 different blocks. So 1, 2, and then this is the rectangle, and then the other rectangle, and you just kind of sew it all together.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is really pretty cross, which actually this one I think, oh no, this is right. I did a couple of them that were like really wrong, but this one is right. So that's the one thing that I've ever done, ever in my entire life, crafting wise, that did not have instructions.
I love it. And you're just amazing. But you're in your element when it's sewing. That is so you. So
as you can tell by my thread.
Yes. Oh, are we seeing your craft room right now?
Yes, this is my craft room.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yes.
What are you working on now? Do you have any projects that are just kind of?
I don't really like to sew in the summer.
Okay.
I'm kind of an anti-crafting in the summer person. I know that's when you really love to craft because you do a lot of your stuff outside. But like for me, I'm stuck in my room. So that's my embroidery machine. I normally have a serger back there, but it's in the shop needing a little bit of love. And then here's my actual sewing machine. I think my husband thinks I'm insane, which is probably accurate. But I am, I guess I'm working on this. I made this for the wedding, but it was too big, so I made a second one that was smaller. Awesome. This is a little outfit for Hannah.
Oh, I love it.
Maybe you can see it's like not really done.
Yeah.
It's too big. So I guess that's what I'm working on, but I don't really work a lot in the summer.
Yeah. So do you prefer to work in the winter because you're more stuck inside then? Is that why?
Yes.
Or yeah.
Exactly. And Shayla, you'll get used to this. You're not used to this yet, but you'll get used to it. In the summer, we get like 0.5 days that are nice because it's either smoky or, freezing. Right. So the days that are really nice, I would rather be outside or like at the cabin. And then the days that are cold and maybe like fall, winter, rainy days, but we just haven't had any of them this summer, which is fine for outdoor activity, not so fine for the drought. Then that's when I like to sew is the rainy days or the days that it's too cold. So I think, and a lot of the quilters and sewers that I've talked to do the same thing. Like a lot of them are like sewing is my winter activity, gardening is my summer activity. I haven't really done it.
Are you much of a gardener?
No. I'm trying to like perfect my green thumb, but again, like I need a YouTube video to tell me what I need to do at what time.
Right. And I love when I'm trying to learn how to do something new, I have rarely, if ever, signed up for an actual craft class. I always go to YouTube or something to learn how to do things. So for example, I had wanted to learn how to recover a chair, like the seat at least. So I went to a salvage shop.
No sewing involved with that. You don't need to know how to sew for that.
No, I didn't for this project. And so I actually got a seat cover and a chair from a salvage shop for $1. I just salvaged this chair for $1. And then I went to the store and picked up 1 yard of fabric because it was more of like a dining table chair size, a smaller one. And so I got 1 yard of fabric. And then I followed the little tutorial and I was able to make over this chair. And then I repainted the chair. So it was a different color and everything. And it was so cute. But it was just something I was like, I should be able to do this. And the same thing with learning how to do the flower arrangements. I just said, I want to do that. And so it seems like we're similar in that way. If we want to learn how to do something, we'll just go find the video for how to do it.
There's so much on YouTube. It is incredible. Honestly, the problem that I run into is like I YouTube something and then 2 years later I want to do the same thing and I don't save the YouTube. So I now have a YouTube channel for sewing so I can save the video if I use it and you never know. Yeah. I can't, like, let's say I don't know if you've run into this, but like, let's say I do something and then 20 minutes later, it's like, I don't remember how to do that.
Yes. Especially if it's for something that you really don't have a reason to do that often. It is just like a special project. Yes. Yeah.
Totally. Like how often are you going to recover a chair?
Not
Probably
often.
Not very often. But you can do it again. And when you want to do it again, you're going to be like, crap, where's that YouTube? That's that's the problem I come in. The thing is, there's so many YouTube videos that are so good. Like,
yes. Now, one of the things that I love doing is I'll go to the clearance section for the craft stores. I always like to see, what's there? And then my favorite thing is to find the clearance stuff and use things in unexpected ways or find a new purpose for it. Or some things I'll find and I'll say like, I don't know what I'm going to use this for just yet, but I know it needs to be used for something. And then, wait a few days and you're like, aha, this is what I need this for. So I'll show you this one really quickly. This is a sign that I made. It's a different sign. But I got a couple of pieces of just the wood. I think it was like 99 cents a piece. And I painted it that sort of, I think that's actually a rose gold color. And then I found
shimmery?
Oh, say that again?
Is it shimmery? Like, does it shimmer?
Yeah, it was like a rose gold spray paint. And then what I'm placing those on, it was from the clearance section at the craft store. It was these little signs with stands on the back of them, but I didn't need whatever message was on them. So I just spray painted them that cream color. And I'll play it one more time. I spray painted them that cream color, and then I secured my like 99-cent wood to it with the letters attached there. And then I put on the corners of it, it was photo corners. I got a bag of them online for, it was like the metal ones for, I don't know if it was like $6.99 for 50. It was something really cheap, but they were metal, and it just gave it a little bit more of a polished look.
For sure.
And I used my hot glue gun to secure the metal corners, photo corners to it. And then I used those signs. I think they were actually on that wedding display. I'll see if I can find a picture.
There was so much. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, there's one of them. Yeah. So I used them on that wedding display there. And then here's kind of a look at the whole table, the candy buffet setup that we did. And then another project that I did.
Gosh. How much time did you put into this wedding, Shayla?
Oh, it was like, I like doing this and coming up with different stuff. So this one was just that.
You didn't answer the question.
It's that mesh ribbon stuff. And then the little beading in the middle, it's literally like a button. And I just hot glued a button that looked like a flower to each of the boxes.
Oh, cool.
And I
probably just a pack of sticks or something.
Yeah. And it just like tied all the colors together.
Yes.
And so I just loved, that's them on the end, but I just loved how all of the colors came together.
So did you make everything on this table?
I made, let's see. So I took things that were already made for some of these, and then
did you put this all together?
Yes, I put that all together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is
and then I had to find people, because you always have to find people that know how to do things that you don't know how to do. And so I didn't know when I went there that day that I was like, I don't know how I'm going to put the fabric on the table to be able to stack all the stuff. So I found this wonderful gentleman who worked at the hotel where she was having her wedding. And before he was in his security role, he used to be over, I don't know, like the linens and the decor and making sure all the table settings came together. And he was like, oh, I love this. And I was like, I'm supposed to meet you today.
Yeah, literally.
Yes.
Thank you for being here today.
So he was able to just fluff up all this fabric. And it looks almost like a dessert, just the way that he laid it out. It just looks so pretty. And I did not know when I got there that day how it was going to do that. And so he just fluffed up all the pieces, and it almost looks like a dessert. And then once he did his little thing, I just put all of her stuff on the top here. And it all just came together. Did
she love it?
Together. She did. And I'll post in the comments after this if anybody wants to know how to make some of these. I have some of the craft videos that show how to make some of the individual projects, like the card box and some of the favors and stuff like that, and the flower arrangements. So I'll share all that stuff if anybody wants to see that in the comments. But yeah,
I think that's the best part about a wedding, right? You pull like, I like this from this, and I like this from this, and I like this one from this.
And what's so cool is for your wedding, you created the magic the way that you wanted. And for your sister's wedding, you said, she doesn't care.
I don't care.
I'll create the magic that I think that she needs.
She doesn't want any of this magic. Honestly, she would have been fine if she showed up. I mean, the girl went barefoot down the aisle. So, she doesn't care about anything. She doesn't need decorations. She doesn't need flowers. She doesn't need anything. Of course, her mother-in-law wanted chair covers. And, so we went a little ham. But,
But it's just that's the fun thing about it. You can make your special day whatever you want. And,
exactly. Whomever is planning it can make it however they want.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so it's such, such a fun time to be able to, bring your vision to life. And thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Shayla, you're looking on fire.
And if anybody wants to, that's the information. It's down in the comments. If you'd like to pop up and say hi to Katie and myself, or share something cool that you learned that you think would be kind of neat for other people to know if they're looking for an easy DIY thing that they can incorporate into a wedding. The link that you're seeing on your screen is down in the comments. So feel free to hop on for a second, say hello, and share what you're working on.
Yeah. Do you know, have you met Leah yet?
Leah,
she's one of our coworkers. Leah
No,
Carr,
I haven't. Is she a crafter?
No.
Okay.
But she's getting married.
Oh.
So she might
already recruited you?
I offered my assistant, although I'm not as good as you are at this stuff. So, but I think you guys might live near each other. So we'll have to hook you guys up.
Okay.
Because she's not trying to, she said she was going to send me some pictures of what she likes. That's definitely my advice, right?
Yes.
Find a picture that you like. And then if you have a friend that's a crafter, or if you know somebody who's slightly good with being cheap and DIYing, ask them is this doable? Can we do this? Because most often you can find something that'll work that's close to that.
Right. And then one thing that's great to do if if you have a little time and you're a little ways out from your wedding, just create a Pinterest board and start logging all of your ideas that you might have. Hi, Rob. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. You can log all of your ideas or things that you think that you might like. And if you're a little ways out and maybe you have that creative friend that can help you, or maybe somebody's going to be planning for you, it's just good to be able to visually show them what you think you might want for your special day or something in the ballpark. Because,
and the other thing too is first of all, if you're not really into crafting, that doesn't matter, because anybody can do this kind of stuff.
Right.
And second of all, it's a great girls' night activity.
Yeah.
Because we've done that multiple times. Hey, I'm doing whatever for my wedding, but I just need hands. I'll buy the pizza, I'll bring the wine. I just need you people for the free labor and the good conversation. And it's so fun.
Now, did your friends help you with any of the pieces that we saw? Did they have to come over and help you, or you said, I'm getting these done myself?
So I'm definitely not that type A.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, all of my really good girlfriends all live out of state.
Yeah.
So my best friend is my mom. So we did a lot of this stuff.
Oh, I love it.
We were painting the frames. We had 290 frames or something that we had to paint.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a lot. So we were painting them in the yard. I lived with my parents at the time, so it was perfect. My dad was like, "What are you doing?" We took over his workroom with I had a box for each table.
Yes.
So we didn't have any of the girlfriends over for that, but I think I've been a part of that. Where it's okay, I'll provide the wine.
Yeah.
You provide the free labor. I don't remember. I think we were hole punching. So, with programs, you have to hole punch. And of course, I did the invitations. I printed off, I did everything. So it was just a lot of work that sometimes you just need that free labor and the really fun, camaraderie of your girlfriends to drink some wine and hole punch or do the ribbon through the programs or whatever.
Yes,
there's just a lot when you're getting married.
It is, and especially if you have a vision for what you want it to be. For my wedding, it was the program fans. For yours, yes. I said, I'm getting these done, and I had to make 75 of them. I did all 75 of these myself, and I was determined to get them done.
I'm so glad you kept a couple of them, because that is something that you need to frame on your wall.
Yes. And I just said, this is my one thing. And your thing was, having the pictures on the table and matching, for table 9, there were pictures of you all when you were 9.
I don't know why.
And you just had that vision, and there's no reason why it can't come to life. Lorraine says, "Hi, Shayla and Katie." Lorraine says, "Hi, Shayla and Katie. I'm having fun watching your chat and ideas." Thank you so much for watching. So
I will say, based on so the table numbers side story. My husband is one of 11. I don't know if you knew that, Shayla, but there's a lot of kids. One of 11.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of kids in his family. He's number 2 of 11.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it was impossible to find pictures of him from like age 12 to age before we started dating.
Oh my goodness.
I had to go to the yearbook to get a picture of like 17-year-old John because literally there were no photos. My mother-in-law was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, you had 11 children. Like, you have nothing to apologize for. This is part of the deal. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure like after a while, it probably gets hard to get, all the moments of every child.
Yeah, and then he's like, you can just tell when there's like 8 of them. He's like, no pictures of the older kids are there, and no pictures of anybody. Like there's just no time for pictures. You have 8 children running around.
Oh my goodness! But you made it come together though, and if people are just tuning in, I'm going to share your pictures again, just of what the table decor looked like. It was so pretty.
So good. I love to see these.
Yes, it was so gorgeous how everything came together and. It just looks really, really good. Rob says, I enjoy listening to you both chat. Thanks, Rob, for tuning in.
And for those of you who live in Minnesota, this is in Hastings. So it's called the Little Log House is where we got married.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And
then these are the centerpieces that Katie was just talking about.
And see, there are 3 pictures. We've got 3 pictures there of John at age 9. So it was literally, I think it was like at age 12. That it started to get really, really hard. Like, I think there were a couple of them that like, I didn't have any of 14. So I had to pull a 15 into 14. And then I just used all of our pictures. And then this was nice. We did all of our the parents are in the front in color. And then the grandparents' wedding photos are in the back there.
Oh,
and
I
then
love that.
You can see the wine cork. It's that one that's like tilted up. That was how we cut all of the name tags.
Oh, that's such a great idea.
Yeah, it worked out really. So we slit the top. So like we cut it in, it was really, we cut a 4th of them off so that they would stay flat on the table. And then we slit the top of that wine cork and just put it in. We went through a lot of wine corks in this wedding planning.
But they look so good. Yeah. And then you were able to use some of the corks and create this too.
Yeah, and that actually right now is sitting on our actually I can show you. Well, I'll give you a little house tour. Okay. Because we kept that. Oh gosh, I just stuck my toe. We kept those because we've moved. We went to New Orleans and then we went to Austin, Texas for a little bit. And then we came here and they have come with us at every point. But here is our K.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so they came with us.
Those look so good. Did you make those by yourself or was that with your mom?
No, Mom was very not helpful for that situation. She was like, I'll help you paint, but I'm not doing the corks. It didn't take all that long. I love something to do when I'm watching sports.
Yes.
I love sports. So that's a great option. I would just glue. I started at the bottom because I wanted the bottom to be flat.
Yes.
And then went up to the top. So that's kind of how I did it. But I mean, that K and J, I actually have our last name in the back. That's going to be one of my winter projects, is putting a bunch of corks on that for the kitchen, like above the kitchen in the in between the wall, the ceiling and the cabinets. I wanted to put that there.
Oh, that's going to be really nice. Now, for this, did you just buy a bag of corks or ask people to save them for you?
As butt.
What'd you say?
I'm so cheap. So actually what I did, so our friend that owns the winery, I got like a third of them from her.
Bill's basement is a wine cellar.
For real. Do you see the amount of wine that I'm drinking right now? So I would actually, this is a great trick because wine corks are awesome for any kind of decorating. So there's a bunch of vineyards around the cities. So there's a vineyard in Hastings. So I just would go like once a week and say, hey, can I take wine corks? Yeah. And then I did the same thing in Dallas, Texas. My husband's from Dallas. And so when I went down there for Christmas, I just like did the rounds a couple of times and got a decent amount of corks. And then I think when we went to Napa, we got a bunch of them too.
Okay.
And it literally, if you go to like a bar that's like a wine bar, I know those are really popular in Minneapolis. I don't know where all of your viewers are from. They're probably from everywhere.
They're probably from all over the country.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Like, go to a wine bar, go to somewhere where people are drinking a lot of wine, and they just throw those corks away. And so if you're like, hey, can you save them for me at the end of the night? Like, they will totally do that for you. At least they have in my experience. And that's how I got most of them.
That's wonderful. Did you have a chance to see it? I wish I had a picture of it. That car that was covered in corks the other week. Did you see that? You didn't see it? It was a car that was it was an art car, and it was covered completely in corks. It looked
the thing is, like, I'm sure that was like thousands of corks because it was unbelievable. I thought that I've had enough corks. I was like, oh, this will be fine. No way. Like, I was like, where are all these corks going? Like,
yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So probably everyone who came to our wedding was like, are they alcoholics?
There's a method to the madness, right?
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been
such
a
so
fun
fun
conversation. Is there anything you would like to leave people with if they are working on a project of some kind, and maybe they're, crafting isn't their specialty, or they're, kind of feeling anxiety about what they're about to jump into? What would you tell them?
Don't feel bad.
Okay.
Just go. First of all, you are going to be your own worst critic, right, Shayla? Yeah. I would assume that that's how it is for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, something that you make and you think is like really janky, somebody else will be like, oh my gosh, that looks really good. So number one, you are going to be your own worst critic. And number two, there's YouTube. There's so many different things that you can just try. And another thing is, like, crafting, you get more confident the more you do it.
Yes.
And we are not, like, Shayla and I are not that, Shayla's pretty creative, but like, I'm not that creative, and you can do this. Like, if I can do this, I promise you can do it. It's not brain science or brain whatever. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's really about having the courage to just try. And
yes, I totally agree.
Yes, and sometimes we're more creative than we realize. We just have to have the courage to sit down and give it a try, because we can always talk ourselves out of doing things. Oh, it's too hard, or they can do it and I can't do it, or that's too much for me. And all you have to do is just put all that anxiety aside, sit down and try. And sometimes you'll really amaze yourself with what you can do, or maybe that thing you've been afraid to try will actually come out a little better than you realize, just because you had the courage to give it a shot, right?
And the thing that is so incredible, and it doesn't matter if you're crafting or if you're doing something out in the garden, like, this is universal. Like, once you get done with a project that you have done yourself, I don't care if you've watched YouTube and like a psycho like I do and like rewind it 6 times. Every time I look at something that I've created, I'm like, I did that. And you will have that satisfaction with, like, I did that. Like, look at how much money I saved. I did that myself. And I just think there's so much pride with something that you do yourself. And I love that about crafting.
Yes. And those projects that you spent so much time on, you still get, even years after your wedding, you still feel the same excitement about looking at those pictures we showed today, because all the work that went into it and how your vision came to life. I still get excited now. I don't put my program fans on the wall for decoration, but
you should. I have one to put on my craft room, like, Shayla's fan.
But I love that other people love them enough that, I spent all that time and they love it enough to keep it on their wall. And we've been married since 2012. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's 10 years almost.
And these are still at her wall. I love it. I'm like, it was so worth finishing the fan.
See, husband, you were wrong.
Yes. Yes, it was all worth it. Rob, thanks for joining us from Maplewood, Minnesota. Rob Williams, thanks for saying hello. And thank you, everyone who joined for just a few minutes. If you popped on for a while, if you stayed on for the full conversation, however long you were here.
Because it was 57 minutes.
Yes, and Katie and I could talk, so yes.
We do that for a living, but normally it's scripted. They don't let us talk about this crafting stuff for the show.
Yes, so today
because the show would be like all crafting and people would be like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Yes. Claudette says, you ladies are very inspirational for us. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Claudette. We appreciate you spending a little bit.
I don't know if our husbands would say we're very inspirational. Our husbands would be like, would you please stop spending money on fabric? That's what my husband said.
Well, now you can tell your husband you're inspiring Claudette.
I can say
We're
that.
doing this for you, Claudette.
Thank you for giving me ammo. Next time my husband's like, is that really how much we spent on sewing for the month? Like, yes, that is how much we spent. But look at this really cute outfit for our daughter.
Yes, think how great Hannah's gonna look, and all those pictures you're gonna have of her in that cute outfit.
So cute. We could have just bought it for $5, but I had to do it, for whatever, how much fabric and the pattern and all the things.
So when Hannah gets married, you will have plenty of pictures of her for her tables. So then when you do her numbers, there you go. That's what all that fabric was for. We're planning for the future. We're planning for the future.
We'll see if she is as something tells me she's going to have a streak of independence like her mom.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to help you out here. I don't know if I'm going to kind of save this for you, but
thank you.
I'm trying.
Yes. Luckily, my husband is very, very understanding and lets me spend the money on the sewing.
Okay. Well, and then you're doing something that you love, so that makes all the difference, right? Yeah.
But the thing is, I didn't always love it. You got to start somewhere.
Okay, that is so true, and that's the perfect word to end on. Thank you all so much for joining Katie and I. Of course, keep looking at my feed here, my timeline, if you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, and all the upcoming Let's Chats are going to be circling through here. Our next one's coming up next Friday. We're going to be talking about, later in life, pursuing passion and purpose. So if you put that thing on hold until later and you're like, or maybe you're someone who had to prioritize others when you were younger and now you're older and you're in that place in life where you're like, hey, this is my time for me. How do I create space to do the things that I love and the things that I enjoy for me? So we're going to be talking about that next week because everybody's in a different place in life. And so I've got a great group of people that'll be joining us and they'll be talking about their experience, trying to later in life get into things that they love. And then we'll also be talking about some tips and things that you can use if you are later in life and you're trying to just start somewhere in pursuing the things you're passionate about. Hope you'll join us. Katie,
if you want to start sewing, you can come to my house. I'll teach you how.
Oh, okay. There you go. Katie's got plenty of fabric that needs plenty of love.
Sewing is kind of an older people's passion. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Sounds perfect. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.